Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. So yeah. I'm just back with a part two to this topic surrounding. We call these relatable and insightful topics surrounding generational wealth, fame, and privacy. Um, Sibling rivalries for sure, right? Some of these more topics that weren't as popular have become more popular. And I'm so glad they started the trend of quote unquote TikTok stories that give people a platform, give them space, give them leverage to share their stories. And sometimes you hear stories about just about everything out there. So, but yeah, what do y'all think? What's your answer? Leave it in the chat. Do you think Glorilla owes anybody, you know what I'm saying, to pay them for it, to give back to her community? Uh, what do y'all think about this viral news right now of her family coming out, you know what I'm saying, saying how she has not contributed or checked on them since she supposedly got famous? Like, what do y'all think about that? Now, if you're new to my channel, welcome. Please remember to hit that like button, hit the subscribe bell. This way you receive notifications every time you will make it TV shares new content. Uh, but if you didn't, I did share part one on my community post area already. So y'all feel free to go over there. Check out part one just when it comes to some of my own reactions and commentary too. Like I said, I didn't want Valentine's Day to be the day that I come give my personal reaction to Glorilla's viral family right now, but it was the day that, you know what I'm saying, I made space and time to do it. Now we're going into part two, and I will do a part three because I do feel like what her family is going through can teach not just America, but the world a lot too, because you would be surprised how many of the world actually understands coming from big families with siblings with maybe 3+ kids. But really, I want to talk like where Glorilla's coming from 5+ kids, 6+ kids, and how some of their siblings still made it out very successful. If not successful, at least they're living some kind of life of leverage happiness. And how we were talking about on part one, how, I agree with everybody else, it started at home, but I didn't like how everybody was like, they can't say that with Glorilla's mom. Like, she raised them in church, she tried to keep them away from negative societal influences as much as she could by even homeschooling her kids. And you don't hear that a lot when people have huge families. Like, to them, it might just be easier to send every one of the students in the home to school. I mean, I wouldn't say that makes you a lazy parent. You don't call the people that take their kids to school lazy. Don't call a tempting homeschool parent lazy. To this day, there's still only limited number of states that even have tax write-offs or any type of assistance for, and we're talking cash assistance now. So you can't really mock their parent for that, Glorilla's parents for that. But it's not too many places, states in the United States right now that are just like, hey, you can come over here and apply. You're homeschooling your kids. We got laptops for you. We got devices. We got Wi-Fi. We'll pay your Wi-Fi. We'll give you the teaching lesson books. We'll set up the curriculum for you. That is not how that works. If you choose to homeschool, everything from that day forward is now on you, the parent or the guardian or whoever is taking care of the student. So I said, wow, their story is actually very interesting. I didn't know that Glorilla grew up that way, you know? And fans, we do care. We do care because, like, people would just say, oh, I came from the struggle. No, let's talk more about those struggles. That's the point for everybody to be inspired. They want to teach people, oh, reach for the stars and the sky's the limit, and then people grow up and they see the truth anyway. Like, is it that, or do you like who really controls our futures here? Now, I was just saying a parent can do everything right. They raise them right and they still want to choose rap as a career. That doesn't mean that person chose the wrong side of life. I was just saying their story is interesting because they did start in church like a lot of families did in the background. Like they try to raise all their kids in church. Why do y'all think families do that? The households that do that, why do y'all think they do that? And can we let more of the parents who have attempted this speak? Not just with one or two kids, the ones with five kids or more. How about that? Because I know it's some big families out there that incorporated God in their lives, and it probably helped them to emotionally, mentally. I wouldn't always say financially, but you do have stories of people out there who their church helped to support them. Their church is how they got back on their feet. Their church is who blessed them with their next job. Their church is who blessed them with their next connection. Like, why we don't hear more of those stories? Thank you, baby. Um, I don't know, but I'm just picking out a few things I didn't get to say on part one when it came to my reaction to, everybody being so quick to judge Glorilla's siblings, but they don't even come from big families. Not everybody. They might know a auntie, a cousin, a sister or two that had 8 kids, 6 kids, 5 kids. And I guess they think that's funny. I don't know, to sit around and mock the mother. That's just dumb because Glorilla's story shows us no matter how many kids a mother has, one of them can still end up being a millionaire and billionaire. And guess who be first in line to tell you you owe them something? When they sat there and watched their mama take care of them by themselves. I'll be right back, guys. OMG. Oh, so I wouldn't say it was a question about black people. This topic is for all people, actually. Does we're talking about Glorilla specifically? We're giving her family and what they're going through a little spotlight right now because, like I said, other families experience this. It's actually a lot more common than we would think. Uh, like I said, do parents invest the time like to talk to their kids at home, or do you just expect them to naturally grow up and understand? Because it don't look like anybody had time to talk to Gorilla's sister about that. Like, you know what I mean? Don't wait till she come out and go viral and be like, she don't owe you nothing. I mean, maybe nobody took the time out to explain to her, when they little, like, one of y'all could grow up and be a millionaire, right? And how would we prepare for that? How would we how would we, and then if you're building them and setting them up for success, once again, like we talked about on part one, like Michael Jackson's dad, there's nothing to talk about because you know that the main goal is to set every single one of those siblings up for success, no matter how many of them it is. You get what I'm saying? Nice. I, I hope I find the words to articulate what I'm trying to say. But period, with families like Gorillas, they come from a bigger household. Period. Whether she ever came out on interviews and ever told us she had siblings or not, we were gonna find out about them eventually. You know what I'm saying? Then what's up with some of these celebrities? Like this is not new. Like they'll show us the kids they want us to see. Y'all don't be knowing how many kids these people really have. So, and I don't blame them. For the one, I'm not saying every celebrity is like negative if they don't show their kids, because I understand not wanting to. Everybody don't want the publicity just because their family member made it. See, I have spoken on these same topics before Glorilla's sister even went viral. I'm telling you, because it's true. It don't take you signing a big football contract deal, record deal. You could just get a new job at the Nike store. And, your sibling, your best friend, anybody can feel. They say that envy is a natural, like that's kind of natural with siblings. Do you guys agree? Leave your opinions in the chat. But they say like with siblings, envy and jealousy is common, it's natural, it's normal. And I understand people saying that when they are children. And parents think parenting is just about whether their behavior is good. Behavior comes with all of that. Because if they treat their siblings a certain way, how do you think they'll go about treating others in the world? If they treat their mom and dad a certain way, how would they go out in the world treating others or whatever, right? So, anyways, I don't think their parents made any mistake. Well, if their dad wasn't there, that's unfortunate. That is the same narrative in a lot of black families, though. Like, what? They just disappeared? No care for their child, right? Like, that's crazy. But as far as the mother, we can't fault Glorilla mother for anything. If you ask me, any mother that stepped forward and attempt to raise 10 kids on her own, have my respect. I don't even need to hear the rest of the struggle or the story. Okay, y'all remember that old quote they used to teach kids back in the day, like that your business stay in your house. You know what? They did all they could to tear down the black defenses, in my opinion, the black security, the things like it's like, what did you do? Come and infiltrate and see how black people survive and then come against it? Like it's weird what I'm trying to explain, that I think I've been noticing, but Cause that's crazy. Like if you try to be overprotective and shield them and keep them away from the negative influences, they'll still say that's toxic or that you're trying to hide some or that you had the kids in the house too much. When you have a lot of kids like Glorilla Mama had, 10 kids in the house all the time, yeah, people would look at that suspect. But like they said, people was judging them. They didn't even know that their mom was homeschooling them. And some people probably resort to homeschool because of things like lack of transportation or like employment, whatever going on. I know people that had to miss work to attend truancy court. That means they were going to work. They had a whole full-time job, working 80 plus hours a week, but they couldn't explain to the kid why their child was not at school all the hours they needed to be at school, stuff like that. I really hope to hear more from Glorilla's mom. Maybe she'll come out on interviews and start telling more of her story too. Because I bet you if they ask her, did you think one of your 10 kids was going to be a millionaire? You know she's going to say no, right? I mean, what realistic parent, as they are raising their child, thinks that? And it's a problem, actually. I look at my kids as little future, if they're not going to be millionaires, definitely successful people in their futures. Like I can kind of vision that now, or it would be what any parent would want for their child. But then it get crazy to me in certain families where they start pitting them against each other to compete and see who got the most talent. Like you didn't see Michael Jackson's dad do that because he lined them all up for success. It looks to me like God made sure they got success, at least to one of the children. But the Jackson Five, they was already famous, whatever. I'm just saying. It didn't look like Joe Jackson's mentality was, oh, let me only make sure Michael Jackson make that it don't look like that was that man's mentality. Like clearly his goal was to see all his children, do something with their lives. Do you see a lot of black families stick around to even see that through anymore? Because Joe Jackson, they can say whatever they want to about that man, but he stood all the way through to be able to see all of his children literally do something with their lives. He wasn't finna sit around and let y'all talk about him and how many kids he had and they ended up not doing nothing. He set the standard and raised the bar and showed us. You having a lot of kids don't have anything to do with while one sleeping over here on the road, the other one over here laid up with 5 women, the other one over here on drugs. Like, well, try to tell that story to Joe Jackson, who had a lot of kids too. People can say, oh no, Joe Jackson was more privileged. No, he came from the same struggle some of these rappers came from. What do you mean? I don't know. I just think this is people laugh because there are so many truths and jokes, bro. That's why they're laughing when her family members come out saying what they've been going through since she ain't gave them no money. People are laughing, but it's really not funny. Cause why wouldn't y'all talk when y'all was little to applaud each other and support each other? And I don't know, like where was this same energy when Glow first blew up though? Like, yeah, 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 that's my sister. That's my I mean, it was probably hyped up, don't get me wrong. But that would have been a perfect time to come out and start your brand. Your sister just blew up. Hey, I'm her little sister. What's up? The internet would have supported you. That's what the internet's showing them. But I don't fault the siblings because if they say you don't, when you know better, you do better or whatever. You know what I'm saying? If nobody literally sits you down and say, hey, young lady, did you know you can start a business? Hey, young man, you know that skill you got? Like, pour that time into you to teach you your options. That's what we left off talking about on part one. Because the option ain't even filling out the application yet. That's just you really knowing your worth in that way where you know you do have options. I think some people, if you don't have no options, to me, it's just because you believe you don't. Options are not going to stop existing in the world because a person believes that they don't have them. That's weird. It's just weird. I'm trying to make it make sense, but people thought if these stories stay swept under the rug, it's not a big deal. It is a big deal. It's been so many celebrity kids coming out lately. Not even they siblings. This probably one of the first stories we heard siblings say something like this. I keep references to Michael Jackson because even his siblings, you never heard none of them come out and say they was flat broke. You know how people, I don't know how they would have responded to that. The internet would have went crazy over that too, because they would have asked, why are y'all broke and Michael Jackson y'all brother? So that's not one Michael Jackson could pull, sweetie. His mom, dad, whole family, sibling, that household they was raised in, all them was very well taken care of when Michael Jackson got his money. So I'm not saying I know the ins and outs to their story. We was not hearing them come out on ET and TMZ talking about Michael Jackson wasn't giving them. If anything, they was fighting over his money. It's stupid. So y'all can say that what she should do is give them money. Michael Jackson did, and people said they was still fighting over his money when he died too. You know how that is. You might have to fight over the estates, the money, the house, the cars. And when you was a man like Elvis Presley or Michael Jackson, some of that stuff when they auction it off, you had really, 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 really rich people that come there and try to buy some of their collectibles and all of this stuff. It's a big deal when somebody passed away and they had that much influence like that, you know? So I still want to hear from Glorilla Mama. Like, did you think any of your 10 kids was going to end up being a millionaire? Who just if she would have thought that, they would have told her she was fantasizing. You see how messed up the world is? Oh, you fantasizing. You got a big imagination. I mean, so did Beyonce mama, but her daughter also ended up making it too. So it's what you choose to invest. Uh, and even if your parents don't invest in you, see Glorilla, Meg Thee Stallion, some of them got some stories. And these women's, it's self-made, like they said. Some of them, like Sha'Carri Richardson, the track and field Olympian who runs for America. Remember how during one of her biggest competitions, she had lost the woman who raised her. I don't think it was her mother. I think it was her grandmother. But yeah, you don't see these people quit their whole career over, because we all gonna suffer losses and lose loved ones and stuff like that sometimes. But I don't think people throw their whole careers away. I mean, even Bobby Brown is still doing interviews, and I I don't know if he's still doing shows, but I think I've seen him. He's doing shows still too. It's just an example of what their careers in life don't stop because family mishaps happen. Speaking of him, I think he even got remarried, but that's another story. I don't know why I've never. This is You Will Make It TV. We do relatable and insightful topics, and I have never did a commentary about my opinion on Bobby Brown and Whitney Houston, but it's coming soon. That's why you got to subscribe in 2026. We're also going to be inviting other panelists over here because it's sometimes I think I just don't fully articulate correctly what I be trying to say, but I think I be hitting it close enough to where. Uh, so yeah, how y'all gonna sit around and talk about generational wealth and then turn around and say people don't owe nobody? Like, no, if you put it in the words owe, then yeah, nobody owes anybody. But if the goal was really, oh, we want to bring our people and put our people in the generational wealthy positions and keep the generational wealth within the family, like, bro, it sounds good, don't it? It's apparently not as easy as people would think. People say it's simple. You think you could buy a big, huge mansion and put everybody in it and everybody would be happy. Let me tell y'all how in reality, you could still put a bunch of people that never had none in a big mansion and you live there too. It's still not promised that everybody's like willing to sacrifice the old life to go into the new life. That's practically what it is. If everybody could just be the same exact person they was in the streets, in the industry. Like the ones you see try to do that, they do not be having their deals and contracts long. Period. It's like they throw you in the snakes, but you will get penalized if you it's like, what are you throwing me in there for? If I'm gonna be penalized if I get bit by one. It's kind of like that. So you do have to kind of watch certain contracts and what you sign up for it. Cause see, if people stop being so money hungry, they could see sometimes some of these people in the industry, they know they got family members and loved ones and stuff out there. Maybe they're trying to protect you from how much bigger their life is. You could say you want their life and you want to be around them and go everywhere they go to the concerts. You don't know what outcome with what they do. And they could be trying to protect you. I always say it, to help somebody, you ain't even got to be in the same jurisdiction, county, city, nothing. You could just, I mean, that's what checks and all kind of ways people give each other money. Like if it's really about helping people, and we said it was about generational wealth. Well, it becomes a little embarrassing when people don't already type comments like, "Oh, this person don't owe nobody nothing." Like it ain't about owing nobody nothing, bro. Weren't we the same people sitting on panels and stuff talking about how important generational wealth should be in black families? Like, okay, we're talking wealth then. That's budgeting, investing, saving, not just spending money and what somebody giving you. You ask for $50, they give you $50. It's like, how are you finna invest this in yourself? I don't mind giving anybody $50 if I have it. This person might know how to make that 5,500 for all I know, you know. But I don't think they're saying she owed them. But if you were one of those that walk around here preaching generational wealth and we need to uplift our communities and all of this, so why y'all be making all this money like the celebrities be saying, and then you run away from your town? You're not trying to build anything. What is going on? My baby asked me for a pillow. Hold on. Here, Pooh. And I don't know why they's doing it. I checked the alarm actually. That's why it's doing it. I don't think I put the cap back on there right. The part that you twist on the fire alarm with it, I didn't put it back on there right. That's why it's doing it. Cause I promised that's been fixed not that long ago. I don't want to mess with it and it go off while I'm live, but I need to twist it on there right, or it's gonna keep doing that in the background. Probably like 2 weeks ago, I took it off trying to check something. It wasn't even beeping like that. That's how I know what I'm talking about. Like it wasn't even doing that till I took it off, messing with it. Uh, Cause it's a brand new one. That's what's crazy too. But I know you got to change the batteries outlet, y'all. I was just getting that part out. We talking about the struggle anyway tonight. Glorilla family that came out talking about how they been struggling, how they came from a struggle. Like, damn, bro, y'all want her to keep struggling? Like, no, what they saying, give your family some money. If I was her, I'd just start, she can put something on, like she can really employ them. They don't have to work for her. The thing, people just be like, start a family business. No, it gets deeper, bro, because whose name is the family's business? Is it? That's how they look at it. You see what happened to Selena, the Hispanic Latina singer, who is over certain things in your business, in your company, on your contracts do matter. If you start a family business now, who named the family business? You okay? Me being employed there is great. See the rappers, they could get businesses. Look at Blueface. He got a restaurant out there in California. I think it's called the Crab Bucket or something. If I ever stop through California, I'm gonna stop up there and get some of his food. Actually, it be looking kind of good on the shorts, the little advertisements and things they be doing. But it is also an example of showing young people, yes, you can get into other. One venture should lead you different ventures. It's no big secret. You should want to see people grow. Is all I'm saying. Or don't let the growth overtake you, because that is totally normal for people to do that. And some people grow at different speeds. Ain't life funny? And some people's money grows at different speeds too. That's something else. Once I learned growth was real, it wasn't just some crazy stuff they was talking at church. And I had heard it in different environments. People talk about growth, this is you will make your TV. But I'm just saying, years later, I see that it wasn't for no reason. Like, uh, you can have people along the way, is what I'm saying, who actually do support your growth. You ain't got to wear a loud t-shirt, a mega horn with a whistle and a loud trumpet saying you support that person growth. What is wrong with people? But if you do that, people see it. You do have people that do that. Like, oh, we can shout and scream for the president and cheer him on. No offense to the president. Because my, if you ask his story, he's probably can talk to you a lot about growth too. It's just crazy. I'm just saying it's not non-existent, and it have to be that somewhere. Imagine how much growth it takes for you to sit down without your family, without your friends, without your boyfriend, without your kids, and sign a contract. People are selfish. Are you adding them to it? Are you taking them off? What's going on? Are you signing this for yourself? Like, they're not. She ain't just recording music, bro. She have brand deals and contracts now. Okay, so if she signed it for her talent, her work, her skills, you know what I'm saying? She have to bring that work. Yeah, you get the advance, you get the money, you get the cars, but she got things to do. Ain't nobody leaving you out of anything. But why don't people believe it when other people are just trying to get themselves together too? Like, when we really talking about that, uh, because with siblings, they are gonna grow at different rates anyway. Like, one might go to college, you still got two at home. Y'all seen the movie Transformers? That's when his life was transformed, like it was supposed to do in college, but it happened a whole nother way. Okay, so he still had a sibling at home. Toy Story, he had a sibling at home when he went to college. These are all famous movies anybody can relate to. We call these relatable topics and insightful stories. Here at You Will Make Your TV on our live segments. Thank you guys for tuning in. So, people don't have to agree with bigger families. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Things could be missed. Like, some people agree if you have over a certain amount of kids, like, there's no way you can human, like, some people don't believe in it. They feel like you should only keep as many as you can keep up with. It's like, it's like understandable, but I think that's crazy because there's people that have whole raised. As the people back in the 40s and 30s and 20s, they raised 11 kids, 10 kids by themselves. Really, back then with a husband, because all this baby daddy stuff wasn't as common. Scattering marriages is going to be always scattering other things. Because if they was married, they have land together back then. Y'all are signing those contracts together. You can't just do that with a girlfriend. It has to be with a legal spouse or partner. Well, with business, it probably can be something like that. But when you're talking land and deeds and stuff, so it is an interesting topic. I'm just saying her siblings have to understand that too. Like, it ain't just money for Glorilla. She has to actually put the work back into the label that she is working for. They're not just paying you to stand there and look pretty. You gotta actually rap, model, make yourself remain a valuable asset to that label. But I'm for sure they have to finish their contract. It might be 5 years, 7 years, 3 years, right? Do they even be asking a multi-million dollar cousins, sisters, brothers? Like, you know, that's why you don't see other millionaires just out here passing out money every day, bro. If they do, they donate it to like organizations that do that for them. They allow them to disperse it. You know what I'm saying? They're not just coming out here buying homes and cars, and I guess they all found out. No, I guess that's everybody's dream. Go get a lot of money and change the world. Like, come on, man. They said it should be a crime for one person to have, something like 7 bedrooms in a house. They said stuff like that should be illegal, and people just be out here dying on the streets. Everybody just need enough for themselves and to be sustainable. And if you are going to be comfortable, you don't need 7 bedrooms. I agree with that. And one house, unless you got, that's understandable if you got 5 kids or more, something else going on, foster kids. Just to have a 7+ bedroom house and it's just you is crazy. I ain't gonna go as far as to say it should be a crime though. They said that should be illegal. And it is crazy. People out there sleeping in tents right now, you know? But it just got crazy, like when they expose other stuff, like, no, this is why I cut this person out. Like, that's when it get too far. Like, it ain't even the internet business, bro. Just because this person now is rapping as their brand, as their business. Like, some of these people, their name ain't even that no more. They be like Cardi B. Cardi B is not her real name, bro. That is her brand, bro. That brand is probably like worth millions. You can't just go and clone yourself and say, "Oh, I'm Cardi B." Hell no, like she done already made it a brand. Cardi B LLC in a house, or Nicki Minaj, right? Like these might not be the actual birth names, but it's the brand that you sold. See, people think they selling their souls. You're creating a brand and you're selling that brand. If you love a certain brand, you're going to be a fan of it. If you love Lysol, for example, it's a cleaning product. They got a lot of different options. And if you love Lysol, you can buy that brand over and over again. That's how it is with the celebrities. They brands, bro. But you still chasing that person. But they now have a brand, not only that they built, but then now they have to maintain. If they not around to maintain it, how the family got a millionaire in it anymore? You letting the industry and people steal it. And then when they're a woman, they gotta be even more careful. It ain't that they ain't gotta watch their back still because they celebrity women. What you mean? They still gotta have security and everything. Somebody recently just tried to, I don't think they was trying to hurt her, but they was trying to reach out and touch Ariana Grande, and security and everybody jumped in. Like, that's been happening. It's been exposed. Like, bro, they have to watch their back and stuff too. And it's crazy to just lie your whole security and money. Cause like, what if one day you don't have them? That's all I'm saying out loud about the topic. What if you, like people said, what if she need her family again one day? Y'all know, in the Bible, in the prodigal son story, and I'm gonna probably end it with this, with part two. He did his family the same way. He pretty much, back then when you turn 18, you get a inheritance. Like, it's money your parents saved up your whole life, and now you turn 18 or 17 or whatever age in a family. Some of them, cause y'all know back then the kids were like wiser at a younger age. I promise. In some countries they still like that. Like, it's totally normal for the kid to have a higher intellect as early as like 3, 4. Like, that's not uncommon. They don't just call them a genius for that. All the kids over there like that. But it ain't like a maturity to where they like just outrageously out of control and then like that. They just it's accepted for intellect, knowledge, even at a young age. and they would get a certain amount of inheritance or money, gold coins, whatever it was back then. Maybe they contracts and deeds. This is your portion, son. You're now this age. You did a feast for them. It's your birthday, and here's your money. And imagine teaching them for 18 years how to, like, look, this is how you have a farm. This is how you get a house. This is how you keep your life together, son. Once you get your inheritance, you get you a wife, you have you some kids. You let the kids help you in the land. This is what I had left off talking about on part one. This is very real. Where kids actually used to help at home on the land in the farms with their parents, and it was totally 100% legal. And a lot of the kids were homeschooled, others went to school. It don't matter. When they got out of school, they still helping to pick some grains in the yard. Cause and why do you think it was like that? People had their own land and homes. They just had their own. I mean, times were just different. Uh, just because times are different, we're saying how this started, like where it came from. The topic of generational wealth. So, no, I'm not about to praise somebody. I don't expect people to praise me just because of an opinion I gave on on a podcast segment, a live segment, a open out loud thought or opinion about something. Um, but when you scream and say you're advocating, you stand up for generational wealth, not just topics and awareness, but you're actually showing that you're doing things to. And it's a lot of celebrities they already had been side-eyeing years ago when it comes to that. So Glorilla, really, you can't just make her look like anything out of nowhere. When they was already looking at certain celebrities with not just rappers that had a whole lot of money and they felt like they weren't, because obviously it's not that simple. Guess what? It's really crazy. Like you sign a contract, that's the person who signed it, that's now your new family for the time period of that contract. You might as well say that because no contract most times is just one sided. Like, I mean, like, who signs a contract to themselves? You might have very, very special, rare occasions where that might be needed, but most times contracts are at least a two-way street. So yeah, if the topics are too raw over here, relatable and insightful, not just mocking people about what we see. What can you learn from it? What can he or she learn from it? Because guess what? The COVID-19 pandemic was one of the greatest times of most recent history that showed us that we can all be in the same boat, in the same shoes at any moment. I'm talking to Glorilla's siblings too. It's no need. Did you forget? There was celebrities crying during the pandemic about certain things. They literally on tours, in tours on IG, like celebrities. They were millionaires. Like no. What people need to get through their head is that money don't fix and change everything, and don't just like listen to people when they say that. Go ahead and accept it. That way, when you see it, you're not even amazed. You're not even shocked. Money ain't never fix everything. Why you think they say the best things in life are free? What it will do is tear you apart. Like it can tear people apart and cause divisions and issues. It's always been known to do that. Um, Somebody might say you owe them some money, just like what she going through. Oh, yeah. So I forgot what part of. Oh, I was on the Bible story. So he gave him his inheritance. This story is called The Prodigal Son. Anybody who wants to go Google it right now, it's a very popular is not the word, very ancient story is what I want to say. Like people could say, no, the Bible is not the only place that the prodigal son story has been notated. It's always some kind of story of a child that's like that, even in the Bible. It's crazy. So he takes his inheritance and he decides he's gonna go in the city. It ain't like his dad begged him, but he kind of like, son, 18 years I have shown you the right way. Why would you take your inheritance to the city? And back then, yeah, if you're in a quieter community, the city was more like where the prostitutes, the harlots, the kings, just where the trouble was. He didn't have to be out there. God had blessed his father to where everything they needed was right there already on their land. They only went to the city when they needed bread, fish, and milk and stuff like that. To pay their taxes or something. Maybe go to the synagogue and go pray. But he was just like, son, why would you want to go out there? He's like, Dad, I don't care. I'm taking my camel. I'm taking my money. I'm taking all that I have and I'm going to the city. I'm tired of staying on this farm with y'all. That's what he told his dad. He said, I don't want to live out here. I want to go see my own life, Dad. You know what? And his dad was a man of God too. He's like, okay, son. I think his son snuck away. I'm not going to pretend I know that part, but I know he did get away against his father's direction, will, against what he advised him. Might not be a good path to take. Because guess what? After it was all said and done, his son came back home with no money, holes in his clothes, flies and bugs in his hair, a black eye. I think he found his son with in a pig. As the story goes, they found him in a pig slop, eating from a pig slop or something like that, where they feed the pigs. Like he had just been ran down, beat up. It didn't still mean he wasn't God's child. You just ran out here with your money like a fool and let the prostitutes use you, the soldiers then held you hostage, everything. Because the young people don't be understanding. Like even Glorilla, you think there is not people that know her family that know her mom, bro? Like they know. That's what I'm trying to tell people. They know those kids was raised in church. They don't change. Y'all better go watch her video. What's the name of that video where she was sitting with the church ladies? And I forgot the name of it. They say her name is Gloria Hallelujah. That's a cute name if that's her name. But let me tell people, God worked in mysterious ways, bro. Cause like me, even as a fan, I didn't know she had 10 siblings. Like I wouldn't say it's a vague question, but does she owe her siblings? Like, cause see, everybody do be walking around preaching generational wealth. And what do you think? Generation is more like her children, her children's children, I guess, if you really look at it. But if you don't have children or you only got one or two children, but you got more siblings, yeah, you can create. You can start with that. Uh, like that's what's crazy. Like people should just shut up more about talking about their belief in generational wealth, but not wanting to talk about how does that not start with families, bro? You're trying to construct the generations as you please so that the wealth stays where you want it. That's what it look like. Cause like how you gonna be in charge of somebody's generational wealth plan? Like how does that work? The word generation is in there for a reason. That's all I'm saying. So they be trying to mix blood with whoever now. They like, no, it's about love and who you choose, not to mark Valentine's Day. But it ain't always about that. It's about money too sometimes. Like that's what we're talking about. Glorilla, one of the smart ones. You don't see her all in the celebrity news having kids everywhere. Not at this point. I'm just saying, and it ain't nothing wrong with it. But you do not. I don't see where they didn't raise her well. If one of them made it, you did something right. I think God does that sometimes when it's a lot of kids like that, and only one of them become a millionaire or something like that. I think He does it like that sometimes. It's probably more, even if that child don't give back to the parent, it's God showing the parent something. Does anybody agree with me? Hit the like button. Cause I bet you if you ask a lot of parents who one of their kids became a millionaire, if they thought that was gonna happen. Of course, if they are born into the generational wealth though, like Glorilla child or future children, now you're born into it. Her siblings were not born into it. She had to create it. Now her kids will have it or something like that. hmm But that's kind of crazy because she sees, even her siblings see, they reminding her, look, this why our mom couldn't do that for us. But you got to be honest too. There is probably more help today in certain areas and stuff like that than it was when Lorilla and her siblings was probably younger or when her mother first started having kids. So that's another part of it people don't talk about as much too. Um, but probably since back the 30s, 20s, for a long time, people been going to school. I know that much. And at one time, because it's Black History Month at the same time, uh, their schools were segregated, where, you know what I'm saying, based off of your skin color, you could only attend one facility. Thank you. That's just my opinion though. Like, if you guys say you believe in generational wealth though, like talk to us more about it. Leave your opinions in the chat. Cause how does that not affiliated with your generation? And then if you even sit down and try to like plan it, like, oh, I'm gonna have this husband, so I can build this generational wife or this wife, and then I'm gonna have children. Cause you better believe there's order. There's always order somewhere. It has to be order. You know what I'm saying? Surrounding money. The scary thing is sometimes the orders are not fulfilling for everybody. So, but what's crazy is that's the thing. No dollar is ever free. What are you doing to work for it? Look at the energy that surrounds money. They think it's only tangible things that you can receive free. Like, no, I don't think there's really anything free. If you really think about it, like everything is really an exchange, not just money, but we somehow poured all of our being into money though. Like I never was able to articulate it, but I feel like I could feel it, like what was happening. Um, and my testimony is really crazy too, because to learn to live life and be happy as if it didn't even exist, and like learn your being. I don't want to say be happy, but learn your being, standing up straight and seeing like what your life is, who you really is, through a struggle or while you're chasing money. Like nobody's exempt from but you do want to have a balance. Like there are people that pour their whole energy into money, bro, but are they able to release, you know what I'm saying, reserve some, in other places of their life, or something or somebody might need their attention. Because if they are busy chasing bills, chasing money, you might miss something. Just like with some of her siblings, everybody was busy chasing the bill and chasing money and chasing keeping bills paid. That's why. That's exactly why. If you fall into this cycle, that's all your life becomes. It's Wednesday, let me pay my bill. It's Tuesday, let me pay my doctor bill. It's Wednesday, let me go to work. Just like the same routine for 20 years. That's them the kind of people that is in shock when the news say, hey, it's a pandemic, all the jobs shut down. Because they never had a life outside of working. They didn't even know what to do with themselves. They couldn't even look at it as a break. Them people was keeping up with when you tell some people there's no work during the pandemic, they didn't understand that. Like, that's their whole life. Like, what did you expect people to do? They gotta pay bills, pay for everything out here. That's why I say nothing is really free if you think about it. Not even if your family member becomes some big, mega famous millionaire star. So back to the prodigal son though, he was found not in the best condition, right? And this story is significant even for Glorilla's family, and if they came from the church, this is a good one to read for anybody. Because to play like siblings are non existent is crazy anyway, when Jesus himself had sisters and brothers. He actually had physical siblings. Uh, his sibling was trying to mention to his father, like, his expression. He was just like, I don't think you should let him come back home after what he just did, father. That's why this story is so famous. He was really trying to convince his dad that he favors his brother too much and that he was spoiling him by letting him come back home, even after his big, great mistake of spending his whole lifelong fortune on street prostitutes and just stupid things, other stupid things. He didn't invest anything. And his father was still waiting there, even if his brother had negative things to say. The people that worked for his father, all of them, they were still happy to see him. When he came back home, they was just happy he made it back alive, and they made it very, very clear, even in front of his sibling, who didn't condone them showing him love even after such behavior. You might have a sibling like that sometimes that try to step in the parent place, like, oh, and that can easily happen. That's understandable in any family, and it doesn't have to be an older sibling. Sometimes it can be the middle one, the younger one, but they just feel like, look, parent is not handling this like I think it should be handled, so I'm finna step in it and handle it. Just like her siblings, they might have felt like that was the best thing to do. Let's get her attention on the internet. Glorilla Mama probably didn't tell them to do that. I'm sure it just like wasn't her idea, like her own mother. Y'all just the siblings, bro. Like, that's her mother too, even though she a millionaire and all of that. They probably got business going on the siblings don't even know about. That's her whole mother. I'm sure in they talks they have to talk about things that they mother can't even tell the siblings because that's her millionaire daughter's business. You feel me? Or she might not. She like when she called home, when Glorilla called home, she probably does ask about her siblings, and even the mom probably have to be careful and not tell too much of their business because of the kind of work her millionaire daughter do. It's just crazy when people who they become when they think a lot of money is behind you. Like, wow, like her mom seems to just still love her daughter. Like, she not the one on the internet talking about she ain't getting no money. Like, see, that's sibling rivalry type stuff. They don't come to the parent. They might bring it to the parent, but parents really don't be trying to intervene in it. But me as a parent, while they young, I feel like it's the best time to call out certain things like, no, you're not finna to beef with your sibling in my face like that, and I'm y'all parent. We not finna wait till y'all get grown and I'm trying to break up fights and y'all arguing over a girl or a dude and y'all siblings. But if you let people, they will try to with so many of them, when it's a lot of them like that, I more believe in them being close. I see absolutely nothing wrong with that. Cause like I said, if Glorilla was to fall off any day, because of the way she put on, all of them should never be hungry again, even if she was to fall off again. So she's just supposed to come back home to the same stuff. What have y'all done with yourselves, right? Since she's had her label deal, since she's been busy on the road doing shows, like she's just supposed to come home to the same. We understand that with your elderly parents or something. Maybe Glorilla's sister just exposing all in all at the end of the day. She ain't doing nothing wrong, but at the end of the day, everybody really is struggling. Like that ain't no secret. Like money ain't flowed in the same for nobody lately. And the ones that have it cope and study, they just mind they business. That's like the Denzel Washingtons of the world or something. People like him we know will be forever rich. Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, or somebody. It was even rumors going around about Money Mayweather. Like everybody's dollar is a little shorter these days. That's all I'm saying. It's nothing to be like who's still running around pocket watching. If it is too much, trust me, they're waiting to take it. What's she going through with her family? That's crazy. Mm, 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 mm. It's sad if you can't make over a certain income range, without people coming for you like that. But sorry, I'm trying to turn off this thing. There we go. Oh yeah, but I just feel like sibling rivalry, you have to call it out. Like if they would sit on interviews and be like, nah, yeah, we never noticed no beef between the kids when they was little, they'll probably be lying. Gorilla probably tell them they lying. Like, come on now, that's what siblings do. They fight, they argue. Now that part of it we get is normal or common. But I'm saying, what age is that no longer common? Like, were you taking shots at each other in whole negative ways and trying to normalize it around everybody around you? Because these type of stories do seem to be more common. It was a few stories on the news. Thanksgiving and Christmas dinners don't be like all delightful at everybody's house every year. On the news lately, you'll see that. Like, where whole siblings, families, parents, sons, and daughters into it with each other like that to where cops and everything got to get called and these Thanksgiving dinners and things. Like holidays. Like, come on, bro. You might as well put those. These is the main holidays should have been banned. Where people just turning up, but somebody end up hurt. Like, and they get together gathering celebrations. They going on trips like the Cabo Six. You know what I mean? They taking vacations on cruise ships, going out to Airbnbs, hotels. Man, these stories all over the news, man. And one of the friends or siblings don't even make it back home. But them friend stories be crazy because them ain't even siblings. Them just be like friends that have known each other for. It's like, bro, what has been going on out here? It's like they used to be normal friends that can hang out or whatever. That's been knowing each other since the fifth, sixth grade. and sharing their fun lives on social media, getting along. Okay, it goes back to the same thing. One of those friends end up doing better than the rest of them because rapping ain't the only way you can become a millionaire now. Or they just start doing a little better than their friends. They want to go on a vacation, have parties, hang out with their friends. We talking about the ones that did stay real. Not all of them are still walking amongst the land of the living right now just because they wanted to share their wealth with the people they thought they could trust. They're not here right now. Like the Cabo Six Shanquilla Robinson story. Mm, 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 mm. Has anybody noticed that though? Like, it's the same reason. It seems like that one person in a group or pack start elevating a little bit, and not everybody survives that. That's why those crime stories even exist. And they go and research and investigate all this stuff. At the end of the day, it's the same friends this person went on a trip with, or it's the same person this person was dating. Stupid stuff. If they don't show us, like, okay, everybody's just plotting closer these days, because it's back to back news stories about it already. Like, what? More influencers having to come out and encourage young influencers. Hey, watch the company you keep. Woo, woo, woo. Because collabs and networking is still normal. People still do that. Uh, these are how business deals are birthed usually. Hold on, guys. I'll be right back. I'm taking you guys in the kitchen with me while I make my coffee. This is about that time. I want to share some more thoughts and elaborate more on this insightful and very relatable topic. Like, how can people say they believe in generational wealth and then somebody in a family end up wealthy and everybody just wants to live off their family member? Like, how does that work? People were saying she could just start a business, but no, it's just really hard. Sometimes maybe they just sit back and try to think of creative ways they can still help the ones they love uh, without hurting themselves. Because a lot of people was referencing to Keisha Cole and how she had a TV show, and she moved her whole family. It's a lot of celebrities. Didn't Lil Wayne baby's mom do that too? For a little while, at one point, I think she tried to like let a family member, two, three, stay with her at one point while they was on the TV show or whatever. Oh yeah, I remember that had got messy too. They was trying to say they didn't get paid for being on there. I forgot all about that. They were saying they didn't get paid for all those recordings while they was over there, and that's crazy too. You don't really hear people talking about that one much no more, but because they want to continue to hype up who they want to hype up, they do not want to believe some of their favorite celebrities. Uh, like I said, if you look behind the scenes and be like, okay, well, how the people behind you doing? They out struggling, tired, black eyes, sweating. Like, come on, bro, this how your team look? You want your team to look polished, paid. Like, I don't know. Can we bring the old style back where it was okay? Everybody should be happy in their positions to do their job and thoroughly understand their positions. Like, I'm like, who am I that I think this way? But seriously, bro, because like there's always order that surrounds money. It's only the disorderly habits of life that you see interrupt something like money. Like, just, yep, fly out your hand. Like, because there was no order. Like, mm, mm, mm. So she probably had to like sit back and think of creative ways to even help them or help them come up, or how they know she don't sit back and watch. People can tell if you can handle a lot of money or not. I'm sure your family members of all people, you if you didn't even know her, because some people, they just live a happy life with what they like and love right at home. Ain't nothing wrong with that. A lot of people, what I'm trying to say, they never leave their hometown, city, states. They were raised there. That's where they live. That's where they live their life, and that's what they choose to do. So, okay, that's what's up. Um, so I just thought this topic was interesting. Back to the prodigal son, the sibling, because the prodigal son father, the famous story of the prodigal son, his father had more than one son. The other one was mad as a firecracker that the daddy was being nice to his brother after what his brother did, knowing all that hard work that his father had put into the land for the family. That's what I'm saying. You don't need Netflix. Read the Bible, bro. Like, if you really, really read it, y'all ain't showing God nothing. It's just a new day. Like, what? Um, the sibling got mad at his father. He know his father was a man of God too. He got mad like, um, why are you helping my brother, your son, after he just highly disrespected you? That's what he asked his father in secret. Like, don't let him come back in his house. He wanted to go be grown and spend his inheritance money. Leave him out there, father. That's what he was telling his father. And yeah, he loved God too, but he like, father, to me, you're stupid, you're crazy. I won't understand it if you still help my brother after what my brother did. I mean, he was really truly angry about that. If you read the Bible, it'll show you. Because his feelings to me, they matter too. Like, that's your other child. This is a good one to use, for example, because yes, money was involved. What do you think an inheritance is? Money was definitely involved. He like, man, this stupid boy done went and spent his money, and now he coming back home, dad expecting you to take care of him. He was really trying to get in his dad's head about his sibling. You better go read the Bible on some low tip key stuff. Like, come on, bro. That's what her siblings look like they're doing a little bit. Because if you would come out on camera doing it, you already been talking to the parent about it. Like, you just trying to justify how you feel about your sibling at the end of the day. But if they grown, their feelings do matter. I'm just saying, look how far people would go to have their feelings validated. Like, you come into the internet, they just laughing. That ain't their family, that's y'all family. And you bring it to the internet will show you in a heartbeat, they do not care. See how I'm talking about it? I actually care. Big families matter, like we said on part one, because when you come from a bigger set of siblings, people just automatically think that means struggle too. That's not always true either. A lot of these women, like I said, in the early 1900s, 1800s, and it didn't matter what color they were, whether they were slaves, whether they what nationality, they had a lot of kids. When slavery was here, of course, they probably didn't have to keep up with their own kids as much. That's where the term nannies came from, and but they were in their kids' lives. You know what I mean? It's stupid. They were clearly raising their kids. All the kids going to school. It was actually better back then because the kids would help at home. They learned at early ages already how to be trained up to be a wife. And that's funny. The Bible tells you to do that. Train your kids up in a way that they should go. Maybe that's the way they took it though. Like, okay, we're gonna train you up to be a wife, and that's what they were doing in the early 1800s, 1900s. Why am I referencing to those times? Well, they said, let's make America great again. So let's talk about it. They were training the young ladies up back then to be wives at an early age. Oh, the day you come out and you're a little girl, there's already a purpose for your life. I'm telling you, this was the mentality. This was society back then. There's already pretty much we know how we finna raise you. We know who your dad is because the mothers were married back then. We know what bloodline you in. Probably know what school you finna go to. They had more planned babies, if you will, probably too, because not as much birth control was around in those times. So look how it naturally kind of ordered society when people were aware that birth control was not as available. They did seem to kind of have more control over themselves when there was less birth control. It is crazy to think about. And people could just say, yeah, whatever you're going through, go through it. Glorilla of all people know. Those kids that can remember, like, how did people even treat your parent because they had a lot of kids? Like, did you just go along with their opinion? Like, yeah, mom, something wrong with you. You got 10 of us. I'm sure kids don't look at their parent like that, no matter how much you judge them on the outside world. They gonna always look at that, especially if it was the type of parent that tried to raise them together and it was 10 of them. Some people end up with 10 kids because, they took in two people kids or they adopted one of them or seven of them biologically yours, but four of them your husband's. You know how that can happen too. So big families are created many different ways. Um, if y'all come together and both of y'all have kids and you get married, that's another way that there can easily end up being seven kids in the house every day. Or it ain't always that one woman. But either way, you see a woman by herself with a bunch of kids, her husband could just be on the road at work. I don't know, it's weird. Her husband could be a pilot or he's in the army. Like some people, men don't even be at home. Pastors too, as pastor wives, they don't see their husbands that much. So there is relationships like that where most of the times you see the kids at kid activities or with people who watch kids or with their parent, which is going to be the mother. Because if they daddy work a lot anyway, because y'all say the man should be the providers, and y'all know they be having kids spread out everywhere, so don't they need to be at work? Yeah, you're gonna see the kids more with their moms. They try to put this long stretch, ain't no long stretch in between. They're with the moms more, because even in the early 1900s, men were known to work. Long shifts too, 10, 12-hour days, even when the economy was different and things were a little cheaper and bills were a little lower. Men were always known to do that. It wasn't until they start trying to flip systems around anyway. But I ain't gonna talk about that. But you can't say everybody should be trying to build generational wealth, and then when you see them doing it, it's suddenly so much drama aimed their way, so much chaos, so much burden. It shouldn't be anything hard about it. Like, not everybody's trying to build generational wealth. They're okay just living here, going to work every day, not their goal is to not have debt when they die, which is a lot of people who do not die that way either. They actually leave their family with debt. You know those commercials that talk about that? It's actually true. Like you don't want to leave your family with debt, but some people do. So it's kind of like people be trying to do some like control. Wouldn't you want to have control over that? You should care whether your family members paying their bills or not. Because guess what? If they die with debt, who is that debt left with? And it's even crazy that people die with debt. Like, how are they supposed to pay it? They're they're gone. How are they? What do you mean they died with debt? Like, how they gonna pay you now? It's stupid. So I just be watching it. Like, what do people be doing? People be out here trying to get money because it do matter to me. It's people out here dying with whole debt, leaving their family in debt. Not every family is they getting checks and payouts. They might find out that person owed all kind of collections. Like, really, it shows in some people life they like how they try to stamp all over. Like, let's make sure we take out the whole generation just so they don't build generational wealth. It's crazy. God forbid it go back to the way it was originally was, where people just owned their birthrights and their deeds were rightfully theirs, and they whatever their parent wanted to pass to them, their parent passed to them. Not this infiltration stuff of taking over people's minds and throwing spells and affecting their phones and like what? All just to infiltrate people's generational wealth. And you think the topic of generational wealth doesn't matter? And they're exploiting us by saying, look, your favorite rappers don't take care of their families, trying to mock us like y'all don't believe in generational wealth. And this is why we continue to do what we do to you. Like, come on, man, it's a bigger picture here. If God had put GLORILLA in their family to change their lives, bro, that's what would have happened. But you do have one family member that made it through a certain door. That's all they need to look at. And even them, everybody talking about she gonna end up getting a restraining order. No, the family members might end up getting one. Cause what kind of message are you sending? You know what I'm saying? We get that part. They're not your responsibility. You don't have to take care of them. But if you've like made that up in your mind, maybe they need the restraining orders. Your entourage, your security, your assistants, nothing to do with your status and new lifestyle should come near them then. People saying, "Oh, it shouldn't be like that." Let me tell y'all how people is. Like, you just have to live your own life. Cause people was out here saying, oh, they thought they was starting a movement or something. I'm just saying what I noticed. Like, people before this GLORILLA stuff came out, they was like, "Oh yeah, yeah, we gonna unnormalize that. No, it's not okay to let families be narcissists and be abusive to you and overcross boundaries." People caught themselves speaking up more about it. Soon as this story came out, they like, she don't owe them nothing. Uh, it's just weird. Like, we know she doesn't, but once again, how are we having serious talks about generational wealth? Because there are celebrities that you do not hear their kids or anybody in their families coming out, unless this is about to become a trend. Because you have been seeing more of this. Like anybody can get clowned for that. Like, oh, you big Showtime up here, but your little kinfolk in the background struggling. I mean, and it's just sad. I mean, people even talking about Krishan Rock with it, trying to accuse her of the same thing with her own son. Do, do, I just think it's obvious as hell at this point. Like, people be just infiltrating people inheritances. That's why I took it to the Bible about it. You know what I'm saying? So that I could understand it even better. And back then, it was probably still people who fought hand, nail, and tooth for people's inheritance. But if you ask me, technology and data and systems have made that easier for people to even attempt. Because once upon a time, you just gave your son or your daughter their inheritance once they became of age. That's just how they went. Or the chosen child received their chosen inheritance. What do you mean? And yes, it is so many children of God who they family had a plot before they came out the stomach over their inheritance. And it's in the Bible. Like they literally, this baby ain't took a breath yet. And they they already fighting over paperwork type of deal. Like I'm blessed not because of maybe the long money in my pocket or anything, but I'm blessed because I'm not trying to be in those type of situations. Like that's just weird. uh Inheritance and the baby haven't even got her. You trying to switch out the birthright. That happened with Jacob and Esau. That happened with the story of Joseph, the dreamer, and the other one I was just talking about. The prodigal son didn't really go through it, but his sibling did feel a type of way. The Bible talks about that. Like his sibling was literally in his dad's ear. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause he was his son too. Like, and the devil will work through your household like that. He'll try to. Like, they everybody in the house having side conversations about each other, stuff like that. We've, I mean, once again, if you come from a bigger household, something like that wouldn't be the same for you because there's more people talk, there's more people having side conversations. But he was like, Dad, if you ask me, you shouldn't let him come back over here. Look how he went and spent his inheritance. He milked his cow. He done gave all his money out. Dad, he's a dishonor to the bloodline. That's what he was. He was really. If his dad would have listened to him, that young man probably wouldn't have made it because his brother did not care. He was like, whatever you going through, good. You should be going through it. Like he was just talking to him crazy a little bit. Like it took him a minute to warm up to the fact that his brother was gonna be back home. And maybe God really saw his brother heart too. Like his brother was talking all that noise. I don't know if it was envy or what, but he was highly angry about his father helping his brother after such a great downfall. And I just, to this day, I think that story is crazy. Like, I just always paid attention to that part. Like, his brother had a whole, he could have had a whole influence. Like, his voice mattered. Like, why are you telling your dad? Why are you telling your dad not? I don't even know why God. They wanted that part of the story to be in the Bible, so it's there. The other sibling saw the wrongdoing of his sibling, and he just really came at his dad's neck about that. Like, here I am. I've been back here on the land doing what I'm supposed to do, helping you in this hot field with these animals and keeping up with our land, dad. And he come back after partying out there in the city, and you catering to him, cooking him dinner, telling him welcome back home, son. Yeah, his brother was about ready to fight about that. He wanted to fight his brother, number one, for disrespecting his dad, you know, because that's just how he saw it, and because siblings fight. So he probably just he was ready to fight. And that's crazy. In that moment, the parent had to, because let's talk about that for a minute too. Like in the seat that Glorilla Mom might sit in a little bit with this, but he had to try to sit there and calm the other son down. Like, hey, this is my son. I love him too. You can't tell me what to do with my house, my money, woo woo woo. And some kids, when you tell them that might make them mad too. Well, look, if you're gonna help this sibling or choose this sibling, they will. I don't know what that is, but that's a real spirit that happens within families sometimes. They get so fed up with their sibling, it's like, okay, well, since I can't stop you from helping this sibling, I'm finna be against them. Or I'm leaving. I'm done. Like I'm done with that person. You the parent, you still deal with that person. So now I'm done with both of y'all. But at least if it go that far, you shouldn't still be expecting something for that from that person. That's all I'm saying. It seems to make more sense. Like if y'all depart ways, why would either one of y'all still be expecting, like hold expecting? Do you know what the word means? uh, Anything from one another. Like, did you make a deal about that? Did somebody say something? Like, why would you be expecting anything from that person? But the Bible didn't say his brother left. He stayed there, but it took him a minute to get over the anger that his father had let him come back home. It's called the prodigal son. Just Google it. It'll tell you right where to go in the Bible. He's prodigal, like prodigal means great return, or you left in a great return. It means something like that. But it also means that his son was like very hard headed. Like um I would I would say a little rebellious because he had been taught, like I said, for 18 years the right things to do and don't do with his money. And his father was a whole highly regarded man for God. His son wanted to take his money and go be stupid. Luckily, the father had other money. He said, "Son, I'm not worried about no money. I'm glad you're okay." And gave his son a hug, a warm coat. He said, "I had been praying for you to come back home." It didn't matter if his brother didn't like it. Once his dad said that, like, bro, that's between your brother, your dad, and God. You don't have to like that he came back home. Y'all, he wasn't mad that he came back home. He was mad at the way. That's why this story funny to me, like, cause I can see that happening with anybody family. Like, he was mad at the way his they was like spoiling him. To him, they were spoiling him. Like, not only are you letting him back in the house, you know, from his point of view, you wrapping him in warm sheep clothes and cooking him ham and cook. Back then, when you go kill a pig for a celebration, it was like a big deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, they only do that for very special occasions. He like, y'all go get the pig, get everything, get the finest wines. To him, he like, why is you spoiling this? To him, that's just my sibling. So what I'm saying, you got siblings that's gonna always look at their sibling that way. He didn't see the big deal. He didn't see how God was doing something. He just feel like y'all extra pampering and babying this man after he done went and spent all his money. I'm telling you, that story is funny, but it's in the Bible for a reason. And it whole showed us that the sibling got pissed off that the parent that the parents still, because that's just called love. He probably had other people that judged him too. Like, what's crazy, his workers didn't say nothing. They went and did what he said. If he said, go get a lamb, go get a pig, we finna have a feast tonight. My son back home. They didn't question him. It was his own son. He was the one pulled his dad to the side. Like, what are you doing? Save that stuff. We're not finna have no party for him. So, in my opinion, that story even shows like a little envy or something was going on because his son still had his money. He was doing the right thing and everything. He just wanted to put his opinion like, Dad, like, why is you spoiling this young man? Like, it's why he like he was talking to him like that, you know. But yeah, that man was actually doing what God told him. He told him his son was gonna be back. He was worried when his son first left. He looked up, oh my God, my horses and camels gone. This boy done went out into town. And I told him it's dangerous out there. So his father was actually very, very worried. He was praying his butt off. Like, God, please make sure my son all right out there. You feel me? And them is the most powerful stories to me because I know that God still hears parents' prayers. They might not want me saying it on You Will Make It TV, but I know that it's true. That man was praying sweat, blood, and tears, and that his son come back. I believe the story goes like a prophet came to him or something. Like he knew his son was coming back, even if the rest of his workers, his wife, his brother thought he was crazy. He knew his son was coming back. He didn't know when. That's where the trust in God part came in. It. He didn't know when. He don't know how. He don't know if he finna have to go look for him. But one thing God had already confirmed, like, man, your son gonna return to you. So just imagine the peace that came over him. You know, he had never done it before, but he knew he had to trust him. Like, he grown now. I gave him his inheritance, you know, but he cared about his son. You can't play with them the same. You be like, oh, I'm gonna play with this person because this child of God's son or daughter. You can't play like that, bro. Cause see, that whole time he was out there in the city acting stupid, his literal man of God father was at home praying that he was okay every day he was out there. That's when he got to telling his father and all the people that was at the table at the feast everything he had survived while he was out there. They was all listening. His brother still sitting there with a mug on his face. He was the only one. Read that story. The prodigal son brother was the only one mad through the whole. He kept it respectful for his father, but had it been up to him, that's why you got to watch how you treat people. That's what God trying to show us through this story. Had it been up to him, like, hey, bro, I need to come back home. I spent all my money. He was letting his father know I wouldn't have let him back in the house. He's don't think they didn't have mobs and gangsters and soldiers and stuff back then too. He had went out there and got in all kind of trouble. He was just saying he wouldn't have let him back in the house. So the father let him back in though. So they sitting at the table eating at the feast. And he telling them all the stories. Yep, I survived this, that. Some robbers came. I spent my coins. They robbed me because all that stuff was happening back then. He probably had countless stories of the stuff he survived out there in the streets, and his father had already told him, "Don't do it, son." Like, father, I don't want to be out here working on this farm, born in the hot sun, reading the Bible every day. I want to go out here in the city and see what the real life is like. That's what he told his dad. I want to go over here and sign the industry deal. I'm not trying to be over here, Dad. I'll be back. I'm gonna be a millionaire. So I know it hurted for him to return home with nothing. It's like I can feel all three of them men's story in that one story. The one that had to come back home with nothing, I feel him. The father who gotta diffuse this argument between his other son, cause he feel like, why are you helping him again? He get in and he ready to fight. So I feel the parents, and I feel the brother too, who's like, hey, I've been here doing the right thing, and you giving him all the inheritance. Like, I don't know what excuse he told his son. Like, hey, I got to give it to him because he the oldest, or I got to give it to him because he's the chosen one. That did not sit well with his other son. I'm telling y'all, they got to go back and research that story. It's really interesting. They just keep talking about, oh yeah, he returned home. That's why it's a Bible story. No, no, y'all not looking at everybody in that house how they felt when he came home. The workers was happy for the daddy. They believed in God for him because they knew he had been praying for his son to come back home. They thought it was a miracle. So they sitting there listening, like, I went through this, I went through that. The whole time he talking about it, the brother's sitting there mad. He just shaking his head like, y'all. He didn't understand why everybody at the table smiling and got tears in their eyes and hugging his brother. Mm. Cause I can just imagine him chewing his food kind of mad. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they had cell phones back then, he would have been on the phone about it. Like, they over here having a party for it. See, he didn't believe in God like his brother and father did. And the way that his brother found God was through being stupid. He was the only one couldn't get with the program. Like, bro, you don't see God. God brought your brother home. He was not trying to hurt it. He didn't understand it. Like, all he see is you're helping a hard-headed sibling. You helping a sibling that you told not to go out there and they went anyway. Like, his brother wasn't understanding it. And I was saying that same thing on Glorilla's sister, where she probably just didn't understand. She that sibling that don't understand what's going on. What I tell y'all, the internet don't care. When she first came on there doing it, they was laughing, y'all. People were saying, what is going on? Blah, blah, blah. Like, is this real? They didn't care. Well, I guess people did, because they actually start sending her cash out, sending her money. Would you say that's messy? Like, they didn't ask Glorilla nothing. They start sending her money on their own. The real people out here. Like, they said Tory Lane sent 2,500 from jail. Like, We want to do this in your face. We gonna throw family, we gonna throw money at your family. So how is that generational wealth? Unless your family member take that money we gave them and turn it into generational wealth, how is that generational wealth? Hey, 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 hey. See, she can only create that for her and her kids. Like if Glorilla have kids or have children, generational wealth would look more like her passing that down to them. That's why the celebrities they be having to watch their children very close because you got people already waiting and lurking, ready to prey on them because they know that they're tied to generational wealth. So it just never ends. Whether it's your family members, your siblings, people in the industry say you or somebody gonna say you owe money. Like it looks like it's never a win-win situation at the end of the day when we think they be signing big, huge contracts and deals. Like, I mean, is it really a deal when you got to give up all the people that started with you though? Like, it's just a question. Like, why they can't work on the team? Why you can't hire? Okay, this my cousin Bo. He's skilled at this. Can he help work on the cars? You know, all of us gotta drive our cars to the show. You know what I'm saying? Where everybody got a job. They can't just do that. When you realistically think about it, they're expecting that you have already taught your family back home how to get it. Because at this time, it's time for you to sign the brand deal and label. We don't have time to be stopping with you every stop of the way and you looking back. You know what I'm saying? Whitney Houston, a lot of them, you didn't see their parents coming out saying that, oh, they just didn't give us nothing. I'm trying to think. It's been a long time. It's even wrestlers, people on WWE, bro. And we know they get money. You don't hear their family members coming out saying it. All at the same time. It's just like God exposing all these perfect gold relationships y'all thought these was out here. God will expose all that. And exposing it is just that I think what God is looking at the end of the day is like who I don't know, like who are you? Because if the love is real before the exposure, like, oh look, all you can show is like what all the love has stood through, in my opinion. Like, I don't know, because people beef. That's why me personally, I rather stay out of sibling rivalries. Cause them is those type of relationships too that they could be beefing today. Y'all know what Glorilla said. That cool tomorrow. Like, I just don't respect it. When it's sibling rivalries, stay out of it. Or make sure you're doing something positive and productive. Because at the end of the day, why do you want to see two siblings beefing? I just would never understand it. I wouldn't care if they brother and sister, twins, triplets. Why do you want to see siblings beefing? The parents they want to talk about generational wealth. Let's talk about generational beef. How y'all some of these kids probably be risen up against, came against just because of generational beef. They didn't even have nothing to do with it. You didn't like their mama. You didn't like their daddy. You didn't like who their baby mama was. Now the kid life is this and that. Like, oh yeah, this is what your life gonna be, and they don't even be seeing themselves playing, trying to play God like that. I used to think it was just fairy tale talk too. Once upon a time, it's a such thing as trying to literally like you might as well be Satan. You trying to be God. Like how you didn't even create the baby. You gonna sit back somewhere and dictate what the baby go through, what the baby can have, can't have, where the baby can go, and then you gonna dictate that through what they single mama can go through and have and go and who she know. Like how is that not affecting the children? But they steady got so much to say on a professional level with people with 5+ kids. You can't tell us nothing about generational wealth, but nobody ever wants to talk about sibling rivalries. Like it ties hand in hand. Even in royalty, certain seats only go to one child. like period. And if you don't have multiple children and you don't have the time to talk to them somewhere in there about like, hey, you're not less than just because your sister makes more than you. Like, do you have to talk to your children about this? I mean, if these days it's needed. Siblings and people proud of this on the internet. This is stupid. Siblings should be the last people that you want to see beefing, actually. And yeah, you got them bossy, assertive ones that just try to be the parent, like try to do the parent job with all the kids. I think some of them just never grow out of it. Like, and it is sad. Like, you don't want to get stuck there. Like, they're not even your kids. You're just siblings. Like, they're not your kids. Your siblings. That's your brother. That's your sister. That's your step kinfolk. That's your y'all siblings. Y'all not each other parents. Simply put. Simply put. And when you was little, when they little, that's why you gotta people be like, don't be having them watch your kids too much. Cause see, that'll put them in that mentality too. Like you see how Glorilla's sister talking like, oh, I did all this for her. I poured her cereal. You know what I'm saying? Don't even just you know what I'm saying? I tell my kids in a minute, like, come get me. If the one of your sisters ever overwhelm me, I probably don't say it in those words. I'll be like, hey, her mom's standing right here. I say it to people too. Like, why would you sit there and talk right to my child and I'm standing right here? Like, her mom's right here. How serious is it? Like the way I communicate may be different, but I'm pretty much on the same page. Like, I don't ever want to be so distant that you have the excuse to say, "Oh, well, I couldn't call that child's parent. You could have called one of us. The mama ain't never too far. Not even when they go to school. You know what I'm saying? If I'm at work, I'm a job. I can. I was blessed in that way at times in life, right? Like I have a job where it ain't too far from where they go to school, or I can be there in a hop, skip, and jump because I usually set it up like that. Like I'm a real mama bear out here. Like I ain't never far. If I'm far, something wrong. Far, FAR, or I know about it. You know what I'm saying? It got to be, or what was this under medical circumstances? What I'm far for, and I'm a mother because they already swear if you got 10, 7, 5 kids, there's no way you can physically possible take them all to the doctor and keep up with their doctor's appointments. Yes, you can, and I've seen women do it. All of us still went to our sports engagements, camps, uh, after school activities, school, everybody. Because if it's a bigger family, it's crazy. Like if you got 10 kids, like Glorilla family, all them got friends. Them ain't just your kids. Now all 10 of them got friends that come over or they go to their house. You feel me? So if you got 10 kids, you really got 20 because all of them got a friend. What you mean? You didn't hear the Kanye West song? He said, if I bring her kids, I got to bring their friends. It's true. Real parents know. Kanye West said that. He said, okay, bring your friends, but then they got their kids. They all bring their kids. You feel me? We don't do this for show. Real parents know. Like me, I have 4 daughters. At the end of the day, I might as well go ahead and say I got 8. They gonna always have a best friend. You know how it is with little girls. They're gonna always end up with a friend somewhere along the way that might hang out with y'all sometimes, or your daughter running with them. So it ain't just your daughters. Like now they got friends, or when your daughter's at their house, that's how they parent. I said, it shows the love of a parent for their child too. Cause I just seen different type of moms out here. You got those moms that do not care. Like they kids can have unlimited friends over every day, all day. And I just say shout out to those moms of the world. Cause like I don't know, y'all probably never thought people noticed that, but it shows a lot about a woman. I've seen single women with a lot of kids. They friends, all they kids' friends is over there every day. How is you lonely? You got your kids plus other kids all the time. In here playing a game, eating snacks, eating ice cream, turning up in the living room. Like, so it's never just your kids. You have one kid. Usually that kid got a best friend. It is some people out there still with one child, but they still don't have one child. Their child got a best friend. So now you got automatically two daughters or two sons. You feel me? Because that's how it is when you're a parent. So I respect Glorilla's mother before she even starts doing interviews, anything. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to tell us. Her silence says a lot where she has been silent. Usually when you raise them, unless it was some side stuff going on, like favoritism, blah, 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 that stuff people bring up at family Thanksgiving dinners and stuff. They bring up the past and memories, but um, you do have to kind of instill that in them. Like I think it has a lot to do with who's being. They get their kids everything else, but when it's time to teach emotional intelligence and the balance of it, because I have been so proud of, for example, my daughters lately. I promise you have to remember, like, hey, they're not gonna catch you this quick. They kids, but I'm so proud at where I have seen them progress. Like, damn, mommy's right. Let me take my time. Let me be a little patient sometimes. Let me be a little quiet. And I see them test it out too. Like where it might have been more quick anger temper tantrums or like I totally applaud progress. I'm not just gonna sit here and call out like negativity. I don't care how people try to make me look. Like I'm also one of those known I will cheer some good things on in a minute. Or progress. It ain't even gotta be good yet. If I see you working on it and it get better, like oh my God. And it's a blessing to be able to witness that. Not just in my own kid's life, in anybody's life. If I'm around to see it, like I saw progress, I know that person used to drink every day. And I got to witness them quit. I'm thankful for stuff like that. That's free. You ain't gotta be rich to witness a miracle like that. People do heal, they get over addictions every day too. Stuff like that. Not saying Glorilla family is suffering from all kind of addictions and stuff, but yeah, how are we talking generational wealth when other people, other rappers, other people start sending you money, sending your sibling money so they can throw it in your face later? I hope not. Hopefully, you just support Glorilla like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I'll throw your kinfolk some money, some shoes, a deal, a deal on the side. Like, because if it's generational, you know what I'm saying? That's more keeping it within. And all the families that do keep that orderly, like, they actually care. Like I seen this one story on TikTok. This lady was like, she told her son that if he have a baby outside of marriage, so she know her son gonna be a man. But she like, if you have a baby outside of marriage though, I'm cutting off your hair. I don't know what his inheritance was. She was just a random lady on there talking about it. Like, and she said, I'm just here to tell y'all it worked. I think she said he had a wife and he faithful to. I don't know. Okay, so for the ones that didn't have an inheritance to pass to their son, what do they tell their sons? That's what I was wondering. Like, I'm sure still try to teach them right. Like, son, if you come home with a baby and you're not married, tell them something. I want to hear from more mothers with sons, though. I don't have any sons, but I think it's interesting because they have, and like Glorilla mother, she might have had multiple sons. You know, you can preach and preach and preach all 10 of them, just like in a classroom. You got 25 students. You taught it to them all the same way. That don't mean all 25 caught on to what you said and how you taught it. That's why some of them got to stay after class or stay after school for tutoring or a whole nother student. Because I've had those times too. It's been students that helped me to get, a math problem better and understand something than the teacher did. She'd be like, somebody go help Tedashir. Thank you. Send him over here. Thank you, Jack. Here, can you help me solve this equation? The way Jack showed me, and he in the same grade as me. And the teacher showed us all on the board. But I had little classmates that helped me see something better than the teacher. So yeah, they can all be raised by the same person, but they all needed different guidance. That can be real too. So I don't fault her mom for trying to raise them in church. If that's where they started. One girl told me she didn't go to church for the first time. Like she didn't know she had never heard about God, Jesus, nothing like that to like the age of 15. Everybody's story is different. And I love you will make your TV loves to hear. See, I'm walking by my own faith right now. Don't worry about it. Cause like they're gonna stop that narrative that big families are what's that supposed to mean? It look like people intimidated by them. Okay, she has a lot of siblings, so what? And don't drag her poor mom into this. Like, yeah, her mama still work at FedEx, and without FedEx, a lot of y'all wouldn't have got Christmas packages recently. Without FedEx, man, don't even get me started. So yeah, some people you wouldn't even believe work for FedEx. That's all we found out. You didn't expose anything about Glorilla's family. Cause like it's different positions you can work at FedEx too. Like everybody not just moving packages. Like they have truck drivers. They have they even have FedEx airplanes. Are people stupid? Like FedEx is a very big company. They have the radio responders. They just have many levels of work through FedEx. Like they had put that out there. Like yeah, Glorilla Mama still work at FedEx. Like so what, bro? Like you can end up making a lot of money working there too. Is you crazy? Like it depends on what she doing there. We all look at it different. Like what exactly does she do at FedEx? Like you don't put that much out there because they do have different positions and people retire as well from reputable companies like FedEx. That's good. That says this person not sitting around waiting on her kids to take care of her. That's what that says. Mm-mm. And do people pay attention? That's when we all get older and we begin to see like, do you have that young person coming back checking on you once you start feeling joint pain and muscle spasms and back pain? Like, which one of them young ones running back asking, "Daddy, Mom, is you okay?" It is sad to think about. Don't think God don't deal with me and my thoughts. Some things they good to think about. Not just because I'm a parent, but we all have parents. We all came from somewhere. And even if you didn't have parents, because you got foster parents and stuff like this too, people that come in the world different ways, uh, you could become parents. Even if you didn't have parents, you can become parents. And you get older and you're like, man, which kid is checking on me? Which kid can tell I'm in pain when I'm in pain? Which, not saying you're putting that burden on them, but I'm saying you get older. You don't want to wait till that time. Like, oh my God, I'm shocked. My kid's throwing me in a nursing home. Like, come on, man. You think people not looking at that? To you, they just older, they nagging, they talking. They getting older. That's just mom. That's just grandma. The whole time they could have needed, they was already feeling knee pain or joint pain. But they have to accept, look, my baby is grown. My baby is gone. My baby be in the streets. My baby got a car. My baby got cars with an S. My baby got $1 million mansion. Why would my baby want to stay here in the hood and take care of me? You feel me? Or in some kind of struggle or basic income life with me. I want my son that's a doctor to live the good life. And there's no greater sacrifice than that when a parent can humbly accept that and say, yeah, my child don't owe me anything. So I don't know why they do that. They advertise the rappers and celebrities that buy their parents' homes. They do that. When Britney Spears bought her parents a home, that was all over the news. When some of these guys do that, it's one of the first things when you cut them their first 500K check. A home for mother is definitely on there. They'll count and say, "What's the first 10 things you want me to do?" They a house for their mother is definitely usually on there. A whole house, keys. So people say it's simple. They can all move in one house. That's what I was saying about that on part one. Not every family can do that. They try it and it don't work out. Because even though it's a big mansion, everybody got their room. You gotta consider everybody's lifestyles. You might tell everybody, all right, the mansion is paid for. All y'all gotta do is live here, chill, and be cool. Who just wants to sit in the mansion for the rest of their life, though? I mean, are people thinking logically here? Even the celebrities don't just be sitting and they ask them people. They barely be at them big homes. They be on the road. Like, but you sitting in your bed dreaming every day of living in a mansion with your legs crossed, going in the pool and playing at the basketball court and at the movie theater in a big mansion. That's all your goal is. Okay, who's gonna be paying the light bills in the mansion? And who's gonna keep up with the lawn around the mansion? Who gonna feed them $1,000 dogs? They just sit around and dream this, talking about they manifesting. That's why they don't have it long. Sit back, let them manifest. Ain't nobody competing. But when we talk about longevity, generational wealth, everything has been scrambled, and it shows. Uh, it's nothing wrong with people being good Samaritans. Like, oh, I saw somebody kinfolk needed help. Let me help them. Seriously, you ain't even got to ask a person their name to help them. Let's be honest. Unless you're at a job where they tell you you can't take no tips and extra stuff from the customers, because I have worked those kind of positions. That's why I'm gonna be humble for the rest of my life. No matter who don't give me money, when I know every day that I don't get money, it's my own fault. I ain't gonna blame nobody. That's what I'm saying. If somebody told me today, hey, a bag been chasing you, I'm gonna be totally disturbed because I'm gonna be like, I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that. Like I've been chasing a whole nother bag, bro. How I'm gonna look at a bag that's chasing me? If you fully focus on you, that means you had the mentality, I'm gonna chase a bag, whether a bag chase me or not. I don't know how to explain it to people, but this shit, it's getting us out of that. They want to talk about poverty mindset, right? Like it's very real. A person have to keep their mind not on the money. It's more than it's more than the money. What money do you have with no mind? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. People talking about, I see why she don't get her money. It's just funny. Cause some people gonna crash out with it. Like you scared of some people. You know how Bruno Mars said he's a dangerous man with money in his pocket, and then he said, "Keep up." Some people really like that. Like they dangerous to themselves with it. They more dangerous with money than a weapon in their hand. And all money can do is cut you. So you know what I'm talking about. Like they don't need a weapon, let alone money. They think I would say they don't need a weapon first. No, it's just like, come on, man. So yeah, man, they have to remember these people have obligations. They was using the word obligation. She's obligated. We are her family. That is crazy, man. Cause how you know that person didn't have a plan to help y'all? Not trying to help Glorilla have anything to say about it, but all she told her sis was like, "Yeah, you're not getting nothing now. Like you done came at her and said all that, but how do you know? I mean, like I said, Glorilla is a new rapper, bro. She ain't even been just like known and out that long. But I did go back and listen to some of her old stuff today. Shout out to Glorilla, like her, you know what they call like yo, I ain't gonna say underground tracks, but just stuff you recorded back in the day. And she does sound a lot different. So shout out to her, like for mastering her skill, her talent, her craft. Like it's the work that you're putting in. That's all people are telling her family about this. They can start restaurants, shoe businesses, clothes. They probably got a lot of that going already, but um, it is a little sus. Maybe they just at least you can't say nobody steal it from them. But honestly, who wants to just sit in a mansion all day? You're not gonna want to get out, like still go take a ride on a bike or do anything else. You just gonna stay at the mansion all day, like for the rest of your life. That's all some people want. That's what they saying. You only are privileged like that if you're born privileged like that. It's what I'm telling people. So somebody just giving you somebody giving you 50K, you're not rich. With how much debt people are in right now, that's what true treasurers look at. True uh financial analysts, they're not looking at what you're carrying around in your wallet. They're looking at your debt. DEBT. hmm If they see you owe this college, this hospital, this car, this old apartment, this that is all debt. This credit card, all these different things you ain't paid. You are not rich if you get 50K. Some people is 50K in debt with bill collectors. Therefore, the 50K would be the bill collector's money if they do the right thing. Then you're debt free. Debt free don't never meant you have a whole lot of money in your purse. Debt free means you don't owe anybody on any contracts. Period. You cannot owe anybody on any contracts and be broke as hell because you don't owe anybody on that. You've been paying every cent and dollar back, and then why are you even in this situation? So yeah, generational wealth maybe it's not a topic for everybody. Like you can squeeze yourself in there as much as you want to, but it's like when it comes to anybody being able to see the next person with straight money in their pocket, they already got a problem. When the whole time debt has nothing to do with that. Debt has is about what you owe others. You could tell yourself, "Oh, I got 5K, I got 5K," and if somebody look you up, they look up your debt, you owe 5K. How do you have 5K, bro? You're not exposing that person pockets, you're exposing their debt. You're not just looking at nobody just cares about your money. They're looking at who and what you owe. So why would you want to owe anybody? Like it don't never hurt to start somewhere working on it. Like, wait a minute, you OWE? What is it? A IOU? They got all these initials when you owe somebody. So yeah, we this channel and other channels we done, we have talked about financial independence over and over again. And that's not just they like, oh, let me see what she talking about. Is he something about getting money? It definitely would have to do with you saving more so you are not owing debt everywhere you go. That does matter. Cause like I said, when you die, they don't erase that. Just like when you die, they not finna erase your millions. It's just gonna be sitting there to somebody claim it. But if you owe debt, that's sitting there too. Just like companies, bills, different stuff you probably ain't paid, but you end up dying. That just for the people that didn't know, that does not go away. And that's why the commercials talk about it. They try to get you to get life insurance so your family is not left with it. Because when you're dead, why not just take your money, right? You might have still had some money on your card, anything. It's really weird to think about, but and they do this all like probably with paperwork. It's like, okay, you died. You had $500 on your card. Nobody came. It's weird, but nobody came to the funeral to claim the $500. It's legally supposed to just sit there, even if it's for 20 years or longer, until somebody claims it. But these days, people just like, oh yeah, I'm that person. It's mine. Like what? This person, we know you lying because this person is dead. I know the police probably see it all out here, bro. Like, but yeah, ain't no way to talk about generational wealth without talking the word generations, which the Bible definitely. That's why when it would describe one person, it would talk about generations of their fathers. It'd be like Benjamin beget Ion, Ion beget Zeal, and Zeal beget Jacob, and Jacob beget. You know, if you read the Bible, it says that like that because they were very, very confident in like bloodline, inheritance. All of that was a big deal. Like firstborn, secondborn, third born daughter. It wasn't just kids you was having. What is wrong with people? And they could trace all the way. That book does show you something. I don't know about the other ones I heard, but they'll be like, these was not real people, bro. Like it be whole chapters of just names of people that's supposed to be somebody like Daniel family. This was Daniel's father. This was his father's father. This was his, and that's how they write it. Even Jesus, they wrote like what lineage he came from. Like, oh, Abraham had Isaac. Isaac had Jacob. Jacob had Joseph. Joseph had Larry. Larry had Jeff. Jeff got with Sarah. The Bible be just like that. Sarah had Benjamin. Benjamin had Saudi. Saudi had Noah. Noah's brother was Scott. Scott had, and it's there for a reason. That's what I'm saying. And it was started there. Like people had a lot of kids. What do you mean? Especially royalty. Mm. So we believe royalty had 1,000 wives, but we don't. Okay, so some of us are the lineage of them. They just want to bring back the tradition. Like, well, let's bring back the facts too. How you have 1,000 wives, but you didn't have at least 300 children? Those are probably those lost tribes they've been talking about. Now that I think about it, I didn't even mean to think about this, but if you had 1,000 wives, like King Solomon or somebody, which has already been proven he was a real king, and other kings, they probably don't do it like that in every culture. I know that, but there are some, yeah, they can have as many, not girlfriends, not whores, not concubines, not prostitutes, whole wives that and they royalty, bro, and they having kids with all those women. It's like, okay, so when you read the Bible, where's all the kids? You know where the kids would be? Right there in the palace with their mamas, with their one daddy, who's the king. How we know some of us ain't like kids of them people? You didn't understand why you was special. You want to King David seeds. You want to Solomon seeds, because it's just in the culture of our people to make big families and have households with a lot of children. So the struggle part, I do think it's just some type of like weird forced narrative almost. Like, no, people shouldn't have to have welfare and survive on food stamps just because they have 10 kids, in my opinion. Even if they want to homeschool them, we know that it's a right, but let's talk about rights people can afford, or meeting people more in the middle on their independent journeys. Because of course, like Glorilla and her siblings, they're all grown now. Like, but just letting the youth know we listening to them. Actually, her little sister would be great. She would probably be a great candidate for a somewhat of some kind of youth elevation program out there, uh, where they are in Memphis or whatever. I think she could help touch a lot of young people there. She's a little older now, but she could probably help younger people that are still young out there that might be going through similar situations. One of their siblings might make it out the hood, you know what I'm saying? Or glow up or boss up. Memphis do have a lot of stars that come from out there. They just country, you know. But uh, she could start. She's definitely made herself a name out here. People love her content, so I'm happy for that for her. They was like, oh, now all of them trying to come out. That's what they supposed to do, bro. Like, this just happened to be the time if they chose to do it. Thank you guys for tuning in to another live, insightful, and relatable topic here with you. Will Make It TV, where we share inspirational quotes weekly. Remember to give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and share to show your support. And until next time.